It was their first morning together in this penthouse. Alondra woke up after a restful sleep. Her room here is pretty cozy and nice. First time makatulog sa ganito kagandang kwarto. Para nakikita lang niya ang ganito kagagandang furniture sa Crate and Barrel o kaya sa Pottery Barn. She opened her curtains to see the most amazing morning view. The busy streets below were full of cars and people jogging and walking to work. Isang park ang nakikita ni Alondra ngayon nakatabi ng building nila, and beyond that is the business district. This luxurious life is something she won't ever get used to. She feels awkward in this place. Dali-dali niyang sinaradang muli ang kortina para lumabas ng kwarto. It was still quiet. Malamang tulog pa si Gael, so she took the liberty to cook some breakfast in the kitchen. Puro naman ang fridge nito, so she cooked some bacon and eggs for breakfast at gumawa rin ng pancake. Kailan kaya maging ganito kadami naman ang kusina tref niya? Smells nice. Komento ng isang baritonong boses sa likod ni Alondra. She turned around and saw Gael na bagong gising. Naka-boxer shorts ng tot white shirt. Good morning. Bati ni Alondra. Morning, he answered back. Marunong ka pala magluto? Prito lang to, hindi to mahirap. She said and turned back to her bacon. Ang aga-aga ang sungit-sungit mo. Gael commented and got his coffee beans para mag-prepare ng kape niya sa coffee maker. Tinignan lang na masama ni Alondra ang binata. They just met pero napaka-feeling close ang lalaking to. He dragged her out of her apartment, pushed her to stay in his condominium and advised her to stop schooling for a while. In less than 24 hours, nakontrol ka ganito ang buhay niya. Don't look at me like that. You're living under my roof now. She just breathed deeply and looked the other way. Napakayabang pa nito. Kung may pamukha nitong pera nito sa kanya, parang sobrang dukha niya. Well, totoo naman. May trabaho ko mamaya sa resto bar. Baka hapon na ako makabalik. Wika ni Alondra. Tinignan siya na masama ni Gael. Is that the same resto bar we met in the night I was drunk? Tumango ang dalaga. So, you still work here? Mukhang galit to sa pagkakaalam noon. Oo, kailangan ko pa rin naman ng pera. Hindi ako gaya mo na lumalangoy sa pera araw-araw. Babayaran kita ng pera kapag napatunayan kung anak ko nga ang dinadala mo. You can't quit your job for good. Baka kung sino pa mag-offer ng pera sa'yo na natanggapin mo. She shot him a glare. That was below the belt already. Ano bang problema mo sa trabaho ko? I am not a prostitute. He just glared back at her. I can't quit my job. Ito na lang din ang source of income ko ngayon. Mawawalan ako ng perang ipapadala sa mga magulang ko kung mag-quit pa ako dito. You are supporting your parents? Manghang tanong ni Gael. Tumango si Alondra. Hindi ako galing sa mayamang pamilya kagaya mo. Fine. Babayaran kita enough to support your parents. You don't need to work after the DNA results are out. Ulit muli ni Gael bilang pagkumbinsi sa kanya. Well, he actually makes sense. Her tummy is starting to show at nahirapan na rin siyang magagalaw recently. Even her morning sickness is becoming a hassle as well. Pero magiging fully dependent siya sa lalaking to kung tatanggapin niya ang perang inaalok nito. Think about my offer. I am being kind here at isa pa. Consider it payment for keeping quiet about all this. Hindi to pwedeng malaman ng media o ng kahit na sino, understood? He got a mug to drink his coffee at umupo sa bar area. Nagsimulang maghain ng plates at utensils si Alondra sa bar. Bakit ba takot na takot ka? Isn't it obvious? Am I my father's only heir? Hindi pwedeng malaman niya that I got a random girl pregnant and I have a fiancé. Walang kaano-ano'y anunsyo ni Gael. Natigilan si Alondra sa sinabi ng lalaki. May fiancé ito. She hasn't even thought of that. Basta na lamang siya nagdesisyon na magpakilala dito at sabihing buntis siya. Hindi alam ni Alondra kung bakit nanghin na siya sa kaalaman na hindi maaaring maging sila kahit kailan. Pinalis niyang kanumang iniisip and just smiled. Huwag kang mag-alala, Gael. You can buy my silence. As long as I am well compensated, makatapos ako ng pag-aaral ko. Pagkatapos, hindi naman ako manggugulo. Good, he said and checked out the bacon and egg with pancakes na nilapag niya sa harapan nito. But before they could start to eat, may nag-doorbell bigla sa main door. Nagulat si Gael. He stood up and checked the clock on the wall. Who could be knocking at my doors this early? Alas 7 pa lang at Sabado ngayon. Wala siyang meeting dapat. Gael quickly picked on his front door and saw his friend Archie outside. Shit! Mura nito't nilingon ng kusina kung saan naroon si Alondra. His friend cannot meet her. He opened the door at sumilip lamang sa labas. Archie's face was annoyed already. Ang tagal mong sumagot. Tulog ka pa rin ba? Why are you here? Takang-takang tanong ni Gael sa kaibigan. Archie grew confused. You said we were going sailing today. Tinawagan mo ako kahapon, diba? Itinulak ni Archie ang pinto para makapasok siya ng kondo ni Gael. Gael was surprised kung kaya't napaurong to. Archie entered his living area and sat on one of the couches there. Lawrence is on the way as well. Anunsyo ni Archie. Nagulat lalo si Gael sa narinig. Right, He called his friends to celebrate her project's presentation success kahapon. Nakalimutan niya magpa-cancel sa mga to. Kabang-kaba siyang tumingin sa entrance ng kitchen. Alondra cannot go out of there. Makikita siya ng mga kaibigan niya. Are you okay, bro? Archie asked, fishing for his phone. Namumutla ka. Okay lang ako. Wait here, I'll just get something. Gael was about to go to the kitchen and lumabas mula doon si Alondra. Archie immediately smiled upon seeing a woman in his place. Wow! Di mo naman sinabi may isasama kang kaibigan while we sit today, Gael? Nakakalokong wika ni Archie. Gael shook his head. No, that's not it. Then what? Tanong ni Archie at pinilingan ng dalagang nasa harapan niya ngayon. What's your name, miss? Alondra was dumbfounded. Sisilip lang sana siya kung bakit ang tagal bago bumalik si Gael sa kusina na makitang nakaupo sa couch ito ngayon, ang isa sa mga kaibigan nito. She is just a friend. Pakilala pa ni Gael. Archie, meet Alondra. Alondra, this is my friend Archie. A friend? Tanong ni Archie and stood up to walk to her. Hi. She managed to squeak out. Alondra was just wearing an oversized shirt and Gael's boxers dahil naiwan niya ang damit niya sa bahay. And Archie noticed that. He was looking at her from head to toe. Yeah, right. Sarkasikong sagot nito. A friend. Ngiti-ngiti ngayon si Archie habang tinititigan si Alondra. Napahawak na lang sa sentido si Gael. I should be mad at you for cheating at my sister behind her back. Pero hindi pa naman official ang engagement ninyo, so it's your life, bro. Pero once na-announce sa mga magulang natin ang engagement ninyo, please get your life straight once and for all. He advised with a hint of seriousness. Gael just breathed deeply at umiling. I am not cheating on her, okay? Alondra's just a good friend and she has to stay with me for a while. Archie laughed. Bakit pa parang takot na takot ka? It's not as if I'm your father. Do your thing, bro. If you want a bed warmer for the meantime, just go. Anyway, nasa na ba si Lawrence? Tiningnan ng masama ni Alondra si Gael, waiting for him to clarify that she's not his bed warmer, that she is the mother of his unborn child. But Gael remained quiet, so Alondra did what she thought was right. I'm not his bed warmer. Gael shot her a glare. Mukhang papatayin siya ng binata kapag tinuloy niyang sasabihin niya tungkol sa totoong dahilan kung bakit siya nandoon. It's fine, Alondra. If you are not his bed warmer, wanna be mine? Malanding tanong ni Archie sa kanya. Gael stood in between them at sinanggahan niya kay Archie. Let's postpone. No! Mariing tanggay ni Archie. I badly want to go sail today. Sumama ka sa amin, Alondra. You will love it. The view of the ocean is coming to the soul. Gael just shrugged and walked back to the kitchen to get some drinks. He is so screwed. Lawrence also just arrived in Gael's condo. He was just in a plain blue shirt and white shorts. Halatang handang-handa nitong mag-sail. Gael opened the door for his friend. Hey! He greeted. And Lawrence casually strolled inside. Nakita agad na naroon sina Archie at Alondra. Gael immediately introduced everyone dahil nakita niya kagad ang pagkulot ng noo ni Lawrence. This is my friend Alondra. Friend? Tanong ni Lawrence, looking at her from head to toe in just a pair of boxers and white shirt. That was my same question. Naiiling na wika ni Archie. Hi, I'm Alondra. She greeted shyly and waved at him. Nandiliit si Alondra sa tabi ng mga kaibigan ni Gael. They all look like they come from very affluent families with the way they dress and talk. Lawrence just stared hard at Gael. You have a girlfriend we don't know about? No, it's not like that. It's complicated. Pigil ni Gael sa iniisip nito. Then what? Lawrence probed again. Dito ka ba natulog kagabi, miss? Alondra looked at Gael and did not answer. Bakit ba siya naiipit sa gitna ng mga kaibigan nito ngayon? So Gael answered for her. Yeah, she stepped here. Don't you have a fiancé to worry about? Seryosong tanong ni Lawrence. Does Valerie even know about this? Madilim ang tanong nito. It's not an official engagement yet, sagot ni Gael. Besides, I know ikaw ang unang tututol once Valerie and I make it official. Lawrence just stared hard at him while Archie remains obvious with what Gael was talking about. All I'm saying is, wag mong lokohin si Valerie. If you are fooling around with someone else, make sure she is aware of who you really are. And you, miss, he is engaged to my friend. You can now leave dahil hindi tamang ginagawa mo. Shut up, Lawrence. Pigil ni Gael. You both should leave. You have no right to talk to her like that. Hinila ni Gael si Alondra papunta sa likuran niya. I can perfectly say without both of you today. Archie intervened between them. Bro, chill. It's not the end of the world. Valerie and Gael are still not officially engaged. Ipapahiya mo si Valerie sa ginagawa mo. Pigil mo rin ni Lawrence. It was now obvious that he was against every bit of this idea. I am going sailing, so leave. You too. Sigaw ni Gael. Pagsisisihan mo to, makakarinig to sa papa mo. Pagbabanta ni Lawrence before turning his back. And before Alondra's eyes, she saw how Gael quickly moved to pull back Lawrence and slam him into the wall. What did you say? Galit na wika ni Gael sa kaibigan. Bro! Sigaw ni Archie. Can you just both chill? Magitan na to sa dalawa. You are still the same scaredy cat, I know. Wikang mali ni Lawrence. So are you really throwing away everything you've worked hard for the past 3 months for this girl? And what about Valerie? She's all yours kung yun ang gusto mong marinig. Just don't blackmail me with my own father. Gael spat on his face before letting him go. Now leave. It was a whole day of silence. Umalis at naiwan lang mag-isa sa penthouse na yan si Alondra. Hindi niya alam kung saan nagpalipas ang buong araw si Gael. He looked pissed off nang umalis daw basta kaninang umaga matapos dumating ng mga kaibigan nito. Well, sino ba siya para mag-alala dito? She's not his girlfriend. Tama naman ang sinabi ng mga kaibigan nito kanina. He has a fiancé so she has no place in this house and in his life. All she needs from him is financial support dahil hindi niya kayang buhayin ng baby nila na mag-isa. Ayaw niya ng gulo. Lalong ayaw niya makaaway ng sino mang Valerie na pinag-uusapan ng mga ito. It was already 9 p.m. nang magbukas ang front door, revealing a drunk Gael. Gising ka pa? Iritang tanong ni Gael as he walked past the living area to the stairs. Iniintay kasi kita eh. San ka nang galing? Gabi na. Kanina ka pa umalis. Dali-dali ni Alondra ang inalalayan to pataas ng hagdan. Pero tinulak lang siya nito palayo. I don't need your help. At dire-diretso ito pataas. At hindi ko kailangan hintayin mo ako. You're not my girlfriend even. Alondra was taken aback by his hostility. Bakit galit na rin to sa kanya ngayon? He missed a step at natakid ng konti si Alondra. So, she quickly came to his aid. He just looked at her quietly and whispered, You're going to ruin my life. And as his eyes descended down to her lips, You tricked me for my money, right? I am such a fool. Tell me the baby's not mine. She kept her mouth shut and refused to answer. Inisip na lang niya na baka lasing na lasing talaga to at di nito alam ang sinasabi. She tucked him into bed and unbuttoned his shirt para makatulog ng maayos. And true enough, lasing na lasing nga to kaya mabilis nang pumikit pahiga sa kama. As soon as he fell asleep, Alondra's tears fell. Hindi maintindihan ang sarili pero nasaktan siya sa mga sinabi nito. Yes, she had made love with him for money but it was a tough time. At iyan alam ang gagawin. But she is not a prostitute at di rin niya plinanang magpabuntis just because he is goddamn rich. Now she feels more alone than ever. Well, matagal na siya mag-isang nabubuhay dito sa Maynila. Paminsan-minsan umuwi sa probinsya nila. And now nabuntis siya at di niya alam kung paano sasabihin sa pamilya at mga kaibigan niya. Umaasa siyang makakahanap siya ng karamay kay Gael. But she was wrong. He hates her. Tumayo siya at lumabas sa kwarto nito para makapagpahinga na rin. But all she did that night was cry. It was the worst decision of her life. One she vowed never to do again, have made love with a selfish man. Nagising si Alondra sa sobrang liwanag mula sa bintana niya. But she clearly remembered that she shut all her blinds last night. But what surprised her was the man sitting down at the edge of her bed, staring down at her. She immediately sat up and covered herself dahil nakashirt lang siya at wala pang bra at shorts. Anong ginagawa mo dito? You don't need to cover yourself. Seryosong wika ni Gael. It's not as if we haven't had make love yet, right? She just bit her lip, not knowing how to respond. Naalala kaya nitong sinabi nito sa kanya kagabi? Ano bang problema mo at parang takot na takot ka? Umiling si Alondra. Wala. Ano bang kailangan mo? It's 9 in the morning at wala pa tayong breakfast. Won't you cook for me? Tanong ni Gael. Hindi ba ito marunong magluto? Sige, mauna ka lang lumabas. Magbibihis lang ako. But I'm hungry. Uunahin mo pa bang magbihis? Inis na tanong ni Gael as he stood up. Fine, she said and sighed. Wala naman sigurong mawawala kung maglalakad siya na naka-t-shirt at panty lang ngayon. He has seen it all anyway. Ano ba bang ikakahiya niya? Tumayo siya at nang lumabas ng kwarto at bababa ng kitchen. But she can feel him just right behind her. Binuksan niya ang ref at naglabas ng bacon at ilang eggs mula roon while he sat down on a chair and just observed her. Okay na ba to sa'yo? She inquired as she grabbed a pan and opened the electric stove. Yup. Tipid na sagot ito sa likuran niya. Okay. She answered back and started cooking. Inilagay ang bacon sa pan at sinimulang lutuin yon. I've set an appointment on Tuesday with your OB-GYN. Pumasok ka sa school ng Lunes para mag-fan ng LOA for the entire duration of the SEM. Sige, tipid na sagot ni Alondra. Matapos sa mga sinabi nito kagawin sa kaba niya, it's as if nakalimutan nito lahat yon and back to regular programming na sila. Paano palang pamilya mo kapag nalaman nila? They cannot know. I've talked to Lawrence and Archie. They know now how they vowed and to never tell a soul. Pag-amin ni Gael. Anong sabi nila? He just shrugged. They will support me. We're friends at the end of the day. Nang malaman nilang maaring anak kong dinadala mo, naintindihan nila kung bakit kailangan dito ka na muna titira. Can't, no. Not yet. Hester dapat tinurong niluluto niya. Baka masunog mang bacon ko. He went near her at binantayan din ang niluluto niya. Alondra paid attention to the pan again and stopped asking questions. Hindi niya alam pero may konting selos siyang naramdaman sa babaeng yon. Pangalan pa lang pakiramdam niya wala na siyang panama. Napakaganda siguro. You're absent-minded. Nasusunog na oh. Puro ni Gael na nakatayo pa rin. Sa tabi niya. Sorry, she said at piniligtad ang mga bacon strips sa pan. Where did you get this shirt of mine? He suddenly asked, looking at her intently. She looked at him to see him looking at her behind. Nakita ko lang sa bottom ng drawer mo. I figured baka hindi mo na ginagamit. Let us go to the mall later. You are not allowed to wear this anymore. Bakit naman? Komportable naman siyang ipantulog. What came next was the biggest shock of her life. She felt his hand squeezing her butt and then gently grazing her thighs. You look so hot, Alondra. I finally am remembering the things I did to you that night. He whispered to her ears. Gael? He pulled her closer with her waist so she could feel his hardness on her butt. Don't worry, I won't do anything. It's just that you shouldn't be wearing those shirts anymore. Baka kung ano pang magawa ko. Nag-init bigla ang buong katawan ni Alondra sa sinabi nito at nang maramdaman na matigas sa bagay na iyon sa likuran niya. Gael, I am getting hard for you at kasalanan mo to. He groaned and rubbed himself against her butt cheeks. You feel so good, he whispered. I can just make love to you here and now. She can feel her body responding to his, but before something could happen, Gael quickly detached himself from her and pointed at the pan. Luto na, I'll set the table. He was breathing deeper than usual. He walked to the other side of the kitchen to get some plates and utensils. Noon lang nakahinga si Alondra. She did not expect any of that. Bigla na lamang tong tumigil matapos ang ginawa nito. Pero hindi niya maintindihan kung bakit ang init-init ng pakiramdam niya ngayon. And worse, she can feel herself getting all worked up and aroused. Ganito ba talaga pag buntis? Is this her hormones acting up? It can't be. He doesn't want her at kinakaya nga siya nito eh. So hindi siya pwede magpagamit ulit dito. Once is enough. Inilipat niya sa platong bacon at tinuto naman niya ng itlog to make sunny side up eggs. Pilit inaalis sa isip ang mga nangyari a few seconds ago. They were now in the mall, particularly the maternity section. Naghahanap ngayon ng magagandang dresses para sa kanya when her baby bump starts to show. Buti na lang napakaraming choices na magaganda at di siya nahihirapang maghanap. Kaso nga lang medyo may kamahalan yon. Just pick whatever. Parang naiiritang utos pa ni Gael. She sighed and picked out 5 maternity dresses that would complement her skin tone really well. She decided to play it up and choose one that is a bit more daring with its backless cut. Pumasok na si Alondra sa fitting room. Sinukat na mga yun isa-isa. Looks like they all fit well. Pero papayagan kaya siya ni Gael na bilhin yon? Isang backless cut dress? Gusto pa naman niya yon. She looked at herself in the mirror and she liked what she saw. Ngayon lang siya nakabili ng gantong kamamahal na mga damit. She sighed and went out of the dressing room to show Gael. What do you think? Gael was busy with his phone and when he looked up to check on her, natigilan to slightly, then turned around to look if there were other people near them. Na makitang walang tao malapit sa kanila, Gael quickly pulled her back into the dressing room and closed it. What's that? Tinulitong lukod niyang hubad na hubad at ang low-cut front nito. Maternity dress? Eh pang events lang sana kung meron. Nahihiyang sagot ni Alondra. Do you like it? Tumango si Alondra. Yup, I like it pero kung masyadong mahal we'll take it then. And then he looked down on her dress that were much more visible with this dress. Thanks. Masingang sagot ni Alondra and turned around to look at herself in the mirror again.